Welcome to the Liverpool Crown Court slum, the favela strip, before one of the ugliest buildings that's ever had the pleasure to grace this fine YouTube channel, and parked outside a Merseyside PD vehicle. And the big question on everyone's upper and lower lips, my labia is going, but it's also saying, how was that guy able to do a car ramming attack? Fair enough, it was a panicked retardation car ramming attack, but surely with the right car ramming of peace barriers, that sort of thing should be impossible. And there's the view of the Victoria statue holding her scepter, which from the other side looks like she's holding something else, the way you would at a urinal perhaps. So flipping the camera around, I don't understand the ins and outs of British justice. So the guy, I don't know what his name is, Pete Davidson, John Smith, he looks like an average 53-year-old English guy. And he did his car ramming, injured, I think, 104 people. 4 are still in hospital. Remember the bit from Inglourious Basterds? I want three drinks. 3 drinks. Oh, British spy. So he's a company director, 53, he's a father. Initial reports, which Andrew Lawrence, the comedian, reported on, were incorrect. Apparently he was high as a kite. He was lit up like a Christmas tree. That's how high he was. Turns out none of that was true. It's the panic. So a 53-year-old company director, in my opinion, no threat to the wider community. He's not going to do it again, yet. He's been remanded in custody. Now, of course, like other Western nations, you are innocent until proven guilty, yet the courts have decided that John Smith, or whatever his name is, Pete Davidson, what's your name, bro? He's such a threat, they have to keep him in prison with all the crackheads and the drunks and the violent people. ANPR, Interceptor, automatic number plate recognition. Now that's cheating. You're driving down the motorway, you're driving down your A road, you're driving down your B road, and they've got number plate readers attached to their onboard computer. That goes against the national database as to who's wanted, who should be pulled over, etc., etc., who's got a marker on their vehicle. And that's just not very sportsmanlike. It's like dynamite fishing. Just not very British, not very cricket. So yeah, I think it's 104 now. Injury toll of the car ramming, the panic ramming, passes 100. Thank you all very much for watching and leaving such nice comments for Aaron, the creator of the Looking Glass channel, who was unfairly jailed for his vocal cord violations. I was thinking overnight, you know, I was asking him, did you touch anyone? Did you hit anyone? Did you threaten anyone? And he's like, of course not. And like, in my opinion, if you're going to throw someone in jail for vocal cord, you know, vibrations, surely it must be the very worst threats of violence, of murder, of rape, of to an individual, not just to an abstract group of people. I don't think calling someone dirty terrorist scum when you're emotionally unstable after witnessing violence should land you a 2.5-year jail sentence. What the hell is even that? Maroon jacket, she is loving it. Burgundy, she's loving it. I'm not falling for it this time. Last time I filmed this particular funny thing, Victoria's thing, got demonetized, got the orange $ of demonetization, all for cracking a joke about her, yeah. And what makes Victoria's large scepter very funny here in Liverpool is that Liverpool's maybe the least royal city in England, and maybe it was a joke by the designer and the architect and the sculptor to give her a very healthy one. Maybe how the Liverpool car rammer did it. He maybe had a special thing that allowed the bollards to go down, and then next thing you know, smash. Well, even the car ramming of peace bollards need a bit of fixing sometimes. Good afternoon all. Thank you very much for watching my Saturday video in such massive numbers again. Very appreciated. So since I last transmitted to you, Great Britain on the shores of England had over 1,000 military-aged men, primarily from Islamic countries, arrive in one day. Now, if you pro-rata that up, that's a rate of 1/3 a year, 365,000 a year, and I think it's going to get worse. That's a city the size of Edinburgh being slammed into Great Britain every year by people who may not speak English, may not be compatible with the culture, may not even be friendly towards the culture. They may actually be hostile. And when we look at what's happening in Paris with the North African and Arab riots that are smashing the city up now for the third day, one can't help but put the tinfoil hat on and think, have the big banks decided that the West is to be brought down in a managed decline? To be brought into chaos? Are Chinese and Indian workers more compliant and demand less rights? I don't know. That tinfoil hat is starting to scratch my scalp. There's a great scene in the comic and then the film called 300, where King Leonidas and his wife uncover a plot by the Ephors of Greece to sell out Greece. They were taking Persian gold to say, yeah, we'll keep the native Greeks calm. We're not going to let the Spartans come. You know, shh. That's it. Calm, peaceful takeover by the Persians. And here we are, 3,000 years later, and I suspect that some people are earning some good gold for saying shh. English patriots, British people, shh. Accept the invaders, just accept them. So we walk down. Thankfully it's getting a bit sunnier. We're in the main square in Preston. Preston is a small city in Lancashire, north of Manchester. About half an hour up the motorway from Manchester. And scene of a minor riot here during the Southport disorder. And what took my fancy today wasn't just the lovely Union Jack, the Union flag bunting, the Union flag potato van. It was the police van, which may, for all I know, have a potato on the side. I think this is to get your bikes marked so that... Hello, how are you?
Yeah, buddy, I can't believe I've seen you in Preston, how are you?
Not bad. Well, that was a quick one. One of the officers, John, very friendly, he's very familiar with my videos, and he gave me some encouraging words to stay safe in Preston. So thank you, John, thanks for watching. So a couple hundred years ago, a gentleman called Edmund Harris, he was quite a rich fellow. He said, you know what Preston needs? It needs a big classical ancient Greek massive Parthenon with my name on it, hence the Harris building. And I love the guy. He's dedicated it to abstract high art concepts, to literature, arts and sciences. Edmund, we salute you. Okay, another shot of the Edmund's glory with some street drinkers to the bottom left of the image. Cash generator. Just in case they try and sue me, I'll try and say this carefully. In my opinion, encouraging the transfer of crackhead to stolen good to free money back to crack. Look up the side street here, Orchard Street, and of course directly ahead, a degenerate gambling slot shop. Oh wow, together at last, guys. You got your Weatherspoon next door to the Job Centre Plus. Finally, you know, that's a synthesis, that's a hybrid, that's a union that, you know, big business would say, hell yeah, you get your free money from the taxpayer. Instead of rebuilding your life, you go straight to the pub. Boom, you need more free money. What a perfect system. Car ramming of peace barriers, absolutely on point. Where were they in Liverpool? Why was that guy able to run over 79 people in Liverpool? I think the Merseyside police need to answer that question. Preston City Corn Exchange with some people being executed by way of, well, crappy limestone art. So in Loon Street, Preston, 4 workers were shot and killed by the military during the general strike of 1842. Several thousand Preston workers were demonstrating against wage cuts and for the Charter of Democratic Rights. And the soldiers, now that might be even pre-Victorian maybe, just about. The royalists were like, look, you budding commies, I'm only joking, they weren't communists back then, I don't think. Maybe not. Wow, good rendition of the cheeks by the artist. Not sure I like the art style. They look like clay golems. Clay golems from Jewish mythology. I shit you not. Looking back towards the Harris building. Oh, there you go. I'm back. So I've walked for 10 minutes out of central Preston and I've ended up in some corporate, desolate, treeless. Okay, there's a couple of small trees, but look at it, look at it. Where's the green? I'm in the poshest part of Mogadishu, or I'm still in Preston. I've just been praised by the Looking Glass, freshly released from an unfair sentence, in my opinion. Just received praise for my architectural description of Stockport city centre. Well, Looking Glass, I'm afraid to say that Preston is equally uninspiring. Absolute psychological and aesthetic takedown of the West. They love it. Behold, a tree with leaves. Behold, a Soviet square with nothing. Behold, 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 the University of Central Lancashire. UC Lan. UC Lan. But, one thing I did like, decrepit, rundown, shitty, old building, but with brand new ball cam. Hurrah. You're looking for postgraduate housing. Do you happen to be a white person, maybe a native of the British Isles? Well, sorry mate, you are not represented at all, 0%, not a single one, not even one token Englishman or oh my goodness. Yeah, it's not a conspiracy anymore, is it, the replacement? You, my viewers, to imagine the same advert that we filmed, but in Nigeria, West Africa. University of Lagos postgraduate student things. And the advert had 2 white people, 2 Chinese people. Do you think the local Nigerian students would be like, wait a minute, what? We're looking at the Northern Way bar and I like the mural. Just because it's colourful, not because it's a woman in a yellow dress. She's got a lamb on her lap. She has a goldfinch resting on the arm of the armchair and some Preston stuff up above. Was that a goldfinch? I think it was a goldfinch. So we're walking towards Preston Open Air Market. It's covered, of course. This is a rainy country, don't you know? Don't be fooled by the blue sky. Uh-oh, poison dart frog coloration on the right. Yeah. And everything looks good in the sunshine. Even the boring scenes, even the boring bits. Although they're never boring when you've got me at the helm. When you've got this skipper captaining the photon collection device. Ugh. The wrong trousers, Gromit! Copyrighted music, wrong trousers, Wallace and Gromit. Watch this chicken, this is from the Gromit universe. This is from the Gromit cinematic universe, that tacit pro-Hamas lady held up the stunt dead baby in the white wrap. It reminded me of a burrito supreme. I'm quite hungry now, I could probably eat a whole one. So opposite the market, it's good to see a brand new cinema, for the love of cinema, the Ark. Sometimes the angles are so bad that you can't help but excuse me, you can't help but retch. Which brings me nicely to Preston bus station. So I'll never get used to women walking around dressed like medieval executioners. I'll never get used to it, and I don't think anyone should. Anyway, Soviet architect Mikhail Sergei Kikabolikov known as the Ruptured Russian, Sergei Kikabolikov. He, in 1981, at the height of the Soviet Union, he was commissioned to bring some of that socialist glory to the north of England. They love a bit of communism up here in the north. They love a union. They hate a bit of a success. They hate capitalism. And old Sergei said, you know what, we got a good shipment of concrete from Georgia. I'm going to bring it via Tbilisi. I bring to Preston. We build. It'll look exactly like the demolished St. Petersburg bus station. Just want to show you guys, because many of my viewers are brand new ones based off the recent viral videos. So I need to show you the horror of the Chernobyl Express. Look at that. Great price on concrete. And grammar Nazi here. Surely it should be toilets for males. The male toilets. Is the toilet have a sex? The toilet is a male toilet. You walk in, it's got a massive set of gonads. More people walking around with their faces completely covered, giving that kind of roadman, I'm gonna machete you kind of vibe. Oh, here's the clock tower. Not clock tower, sorry, the clock hanging from the ceiling. This is the one I like. People whispering, oh my god, it's that guy off TikTok. And I always make them subscribe to my YouTube. The 150 will be departing for Pripyat on the Chernobyl Express very shortly. Welcome to the Preston Town Hall, although now City Hall, although it's still called Town Hall. But anyway, we are in June, which can only mean one thing. It's feeling pride where you stick your Pinot month, where you stick your Vagoo month. Where have you put your Vagoo? Anyway, I want to wish a happy June to all my gay and lesbian viewers, of which there are many. There's a lot of based gays and a lot of based lesbians out there. Thank you for watching. Charlie, we're just checking in. What level of dystopia are you guys over there? Hey guys, you alright? How are you? I'll come and chat. Let me just shoot this scene. So the level of dystopia we're on is where you get Ultra HD screens on your vape. Look at that. Disposable vape, get an Ultra HD screen on it, 4K.